Hey! Today we are going back again to an old series called Driver. If you're an avid Blue Tag watcher, you probably remember that I already made a video on the original Driver for the PlayStation 1, which took me a long time to beat. As expected, this one wasn't different. After the success of the original Driver, which went to sell more than 1,000,000 copies, people were excited to see where the series will go from now on. Of course, I am making these expectations up, as I was 3 years old when this game was released. Driver 2 continues the story of the original, and I'm happy to inform you that this is where we meet our partner, Tobias Jones. You might remember Jones from Driver San Francisco, which I also did a playthrough of here on the channel. We start at the Red River Bar. See how the sign says Driver? That's how you know you're playing the right game. Two guys are talking to each other while we follow a car coming to the same bar. Two other fellas get out of the car and get into the bar shooting, and one of them is able to escape. This is where we get our first case and we start chasing Pink Lenny, a bookkeeper for the mob who defects into another mob, causing a whole gang war, and we are the ones to investigate all of this. We then get a call from Jones saying he found a witness to the crime, and this is where our gameplay starts. The first thing you notice is that we start outside of the car. And I know this might not sound impressive at all in 2025, but seeing this back then must have been insane. Even as a kid playing this game, it was crazy to imagine how just being able to walk made this game so much bigger. But let's start talking about the graphics of this game. Honestly, I don't think it changed much since the first game. There are places where I feel like the original is better than this one, though overall this one ends up having so much more to offer that the original can be overlooked a bit. The first game already looked great for what I would expect from the PlayStation 1 to be capable of doing, so I can't be mad for this game for not looking next gen, even though the PlayStation 2 was already out at this point. There are a few things that bother me with this one, such as the extremely low view distance. Most of the time you'll see everything popping right in front of you, which I assume was made so the game could run on the console, but even still, there are a lot of slowdowns in this game. I could be exaggerating here, but I think at least half of my playtime was with a slowdown just because there was so much going on. However, the graphics do look nice. Cities are extremely detailed, even more than the original now that you have secrets, bigger maps, more maps, and etc. Now, the gameplay of this game follows exactly what made the original so popular. Driver 2 is still a driving game, so even though you'll be able to get out of the car, there are way more props that you can hit everywhere now. More jumps, more trees, more weather, more missions, and to fit all of that in, they needed 2 discs now, which totals about 700 megabytes. Crazy. Now, the gameplay of this game follows exactly what made the original so popular. Driver 2 is still a driving game, so even though you'll be able to get out of the car, it doesn't mean that you have that much freedom. Is that a bad thing? I guess you could see it as such. Most of the missions are still the same. You have to follow or destroy a car, get to a place quicker than the time limit, do stunts to complete the missions, or even try to get away from the police while they'll relentlessly try to destroy your car. However, lots of missions now start on foot, letting you get into the car or even choose another one if you don't like the one you're using. I'll get this out of the way and say that there's not that much to do on foot. Like I mentioned, there are secrets that you can find like places or cars, and most of those will need you to be on foot. Like for example, there's this car hidden on a field, you have to go around, buy a ticket, open the gate, get in the field, walk through the seats, and then get into a parking place where you can then find a car that reminds me a lot of what would be known as Tanner's car from Driver San Francisco, though I don't think that's what it's supposed to be. Just a cool coincidence. You can find a lot of those places if you look around enough, or just, well, look on the internet, but it's still cool and it serves to show you how big the map is if you're not in the car all the time. Also, you can sit on chairs for some reason. The gameplay on cars, however, is still, if not even more brutal than the first game. I had this thought in the back of my mind during my playthrough of, will this game be as hard as the original? I mean, I already beat the first game, so how hard can this one really be, right? Yeah, so the gameplay is still punishing as hell, and some people would not agree, but I will say that at times, this game is simply unfair. I know, I hear you back there, but Blue Tag, that's just a skill issue. Games were so much better when they were harder before. Yes, I know. But there's a difference between games that are extremely hard and games that are simply unfair. There are moments in this game where you'll be in a long highway with no way to escape, and the cops will start spawning in the oncoming traffic, simply slamming their car into yours, and trust me, you will fly to the other side of the map with nothing you can do about it. The only time I used save states in this game was so I could try to see if there was anything I could do to get past this point without having to take a longer route, risking losing the mission because of the time limit. But no, there are times where you just have to get hit and hope that you'll make it out of there before the cops slam your car inside the wall. But what matters the most is it fun? I can safely say that yes. Most of the time, driving in this game is extremely fun. The game didn't lose the realistic handling of the cars, which still makes you feel like you're in an old 70s car movie, and that is awesome. The replay mode makes it feel exactly like you're watching a movie go in front of you. For those who haven't played this yet, it's like the camera in older GTA games where it keeps going around the vehicle you're using. Missions always have hazards that you have to avoid, cops or stunts that you have to make to complete it. Sometimes it's stealing a vehicle, sometimes it's making a big jump. The only thing I think it's missing is adding some more things to do while you're on foot. But to think how hard they were pushing the original PlayStation at this point, it's difficult to me to complain. And about the story now, this one is more of a disclaimer because I don't understand the story of these games. I was halfway into the game and I had no idea why we were still after this Lenny guy, but basically, we were just following so the mob wouldn't kill him. The big villain of this game is Solomon Kane, but we also go after Jericho, which you might remember from San Francisco as the main bad guy. The music is pretty good. Most of it was composed by Alistair Brimble, who also made music for the original Driver and some ports of games like Need for Speed Underground 2 for the DS or Hot Wheels for the GBA. I actually feel like I like the soundtrack of this game more than the original. There are some songs that feel very generic, but others are pretty much stuck on the back of my head, and hearing them again while playing this game was such a shot of nostalgia that it had me smiling whenever they played. Well, until the cops showed up. Oh, and another thing, in the original game we played through Miami, San Francisco, Los Angeles and New York, which was awesome. And in this game we have Chicago as our first city, Little Havana and Miami, Las Vegas and even Brazil. I know this doesn't affect most people, but at the time playing a game that featured a huge chunk of it in Brazil, where you could explore everything and see real life places and written in Portuguese was awesome. I can't say much for how accurate it is, but I can safely say that they did do their homework. Cops speak in Portuguese during this part, even though they seem to have a Spanish accent or someone from Portugal, but it's very cool to hear.
Atenção todas as viaturas, agora estamos em perseguição. Estamos na cola dele. Pedindo reforços. Encontramos ele, estamos indo para o leste.
It also has cool landmarks from Rio, the city where it takes place. However, it's pretty funny to see things misspelled the way they are on the map. You have Centro, which is downtown, Santa Teresa, which is misspelled with a Z, but it's a district from Rio, Urca, which is another neighborhood, Cosme Velho, the Rodrigo de Freitas Lake, and then you start to notice some funny stuff, like the Leblon being called Lebion, or the Ipanema beach being called Ipanente, or some place called the Flamenga, which I have no clue to what it's supposed to be. Rio does have a team called Flamengo, however, which maybe is what it's referring to, but that's only a guess. By the end of the game, Jones gets into trouble and we must save him. But when we get there, he's been shot, so we must go after the gunman. Welcome to my most hated mission on this game. We have to follow the gunman throughout the city and destroy his car. At this point, I was having a lot of fun with this game, but as soon as this mission dropped, I got the life sucked out of me through the memory card port. I have an idea of what they wanted to do. You were brought to a small road with a huge cliff by its side and it looks pretty cool at first. It's extremely dangerous as literally any mistakes would send you flying down the mountain, which would already be hard enough. However, after you understand what you're supposed to do, you think, oh, I'll just catch up before he gets there. No, you won't. I mean, you can catch up, but until you get to the cliff, his car is completely on rails, meaning you cannot push his car in any way, shape or form. I even tried stopping his car beforehand and it ended up looking like one of those GTA 5 videos where they tried to stop the train. Simply not gonna happen. I simply couldn't finish this mission on the same day. I had to go back another day and try again because of how long it took. I have 3 hours of footage of the same damn mission, doing the exact same thing over and over and over, while the other guy perfectly did the track every single time without getting damaged. After we finally did it, we find out that Lenny is being moved on a chopper somewhere and this is our last chance to get to him. So we join Jericho and go after him, but we end up getting there too late. Tanner and Jericho shoot and damage the chopper, and that's when we finally break our ties with Jericho, leaving him to the cops and going after the chopper. This mission is a bit long, you just have to follow him to the best of your abilities, and I even messed up twice, but it's nothing compared to the other mission really. If anything, I think that one should be the last. The difficulty spikes immensely before just to go down the last moments of the game, and just like that, the chopper also goes down. We finally get to Lenny and beat him up for what he made us go through. But with that being said, this game is great. Thank you for this game, developers. We then get a cutscene of Cristo Redentor with a song that I'm not sure has a copyright, but I try to play anyway. If you're hearing the song now, good. If not, you know what happened. While we drive away, a car starts following us, leaving the plot to be finished in the next game. Overall, I have no idea what just happened in the story of this game. I still don't believe the story was the selling point, but the gameplay is still amazing. Yeah, it has its rough edges, but I think it's great not only for the time but today. Here I am hoping Ubisoft will make another one of these, with the handling of the older games. The music is good, the graphics are great, with some limitations like the render distance. The gameplay is expanded upon since the first game, more places to explore, more cities to be in, more. If you never played a driver game, this is a great one if you just want to play around and not really play the entire series. I would definitely recommend you play this one. Just keep the difficulty in mind. I'm not kidding. Oh, here's a bonus for you. I actually played a bit of a fan-made port of Driver 2 called Redriver. Remember from the beginning of the video? Yeah. I found it on the Vortex Story channel, which even commented on the first video I made on Driver. He goes more in depth of the differences of the original Driver 2 and Redriver, but it adds cut content and lots of improvements. It runs natively on PC, so you don't need an emulator just to run for the game, and it works great. Not only does it fix the render distance, but you can play at any resolution your heart may want. As far as I can tell, the game runs at a smooth 30 FPS. No idea why it isn't 60, but it's great when compared to the slowdown fast that I was playing before. Would I recommend this over the PS1 game? Probably. But I have no idea if it is 100% complete, so do it at your own risk. And don't forget to check out Vortex Story. It makes a lot of videos on driving and everything related to it. It's awesome. But yeah, I think that's it for this one. I still plan on playing the rest of the series. I already finished Driver San Francisco on a live stream that got claimed because of the music, so it's basically lost media. But I still might make a video on it if people are interested. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed this one. If you have any recommendations for games I should play next, make sure to join the Discord. You'll find great people there with similar likings. Oh, and talking about likings, don't forget to leave yours. It really helps me a lot. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.